I'm going to teach you how to tie a simple pattern for steelhead. This is a pattern I created just this year that I have used with success on my first outing in very low and clear conditions, which is why I tied it. We're going to be tying this on a number 14 TMCO 2457, and we're going to use a tiny blue glass bead. Woo! A different tiny blue glass bead. Let's try that again. So sometimes they get caught on the edge of the hook, and sometimes you can push past them without damaging the barb. So you want to inspect it and see, did I smash the barb down too much? That one actually did smash the barb down a little bit, but I don't mind. So we're going to start with this blue glass bead on here and some number 8 tan thread. As always, just give it a few wraps. Just go down just past where it starts to bend. And then we're going to add some Antron dubbing in mint color. This stuff is really stringy, so when I pull it out, I kind of just I'm going to pull some up here so I can show you what I'm doing. When I pull some of this out, I don't want to get a fat clump of it, so I kind of feather it out as I grab it. And I look for which end seems the most pointy. I think that's this end. Pull out some thread and just sort of spin it on there with my fingers so it looks, try and get it even looking, and then slide it down to where it's grabbing the hook. Make yourself one wrap to catch a few of those threads. Then you can spin it and it'll wrap around the thread a little better. And then pulling it back to avoid catching it on the tip of the hook, on the point. Sort of wrap that forward and wrap it back to very nearly all the way back. Yeah, and then add some more, because we're trying to make sort of a conical abdomen of some sort of aquatic insect that may or may not be light green, but either way it works to make a nice fly. I think sometimes when the conditions are really low and clear, that your standard dark colored flies or nymphs are too obvious and they very quickly go, what's that? So I want to put something out there that's more of a, you better eat that because it could be something, but it's barely there sort of a pattern. You know, that's just my own thinking. Maybe that's crazy, I don't know. But so when you get it to where it's kind of thin and makes sort of a medium body, I don't want to put too much on there because then you got a little green football. Then I'm using some of this hare's ear dubbing right here. Again, just pull some of that out. Make sure you don't have too many of the guard hairs or too much fluff. Just kind of a nice even mix. And spin some of that on there. Again, slide it down. And this here, I don't usually do my spin because I want the hairs to kind of poke out a little bit. There. As long as this part seems a little fatter than the other part, to me, I think the pattern looks good to a fish. But I'm not a fish. And tie her off. I only make like 3 wraps on these little guys. You know, and if you get it caught like this, simple enough. Just pull it back. There you go. I only make like 3 wraps because I don't want excessive thread. And also I use super glue, so no problem. If you're going to glue it, it doesn't make much difference. So what I do is I get a little bit of glue on my bodkin and I just run it right behind the hook. And I slide this down some more to kind of help it soak in and spread out the excess, because I don't really want a lump of glue. And I do the same thing in the back, because the part of the fly that gets the abuse when you're fishing is going to be right back here. I don't want that to get all tore up. So I just put the tiniest little bit of glue and I soak up the excess by using that. Wipe off the bodkin. Then the last thing I do is sort of pick some of these lower ones out. So I'm going to flip that over. Pick some of these out. Make it look like some legs or just more buggy. I mean, I don't know what this imitates. Blue, I think, kind of glimmers nicely in clear water. It sort of looks attractive in a way that something like shiny gold might be too shiny. Whereas the blue, I feel like, has a translucent, the blue glass has a nice, easy, translucent, ooh, what's that kind of quality? And the mint green and the tan, I think, sort of look barely there, even in clear water, as opposed to the bold lines of a little black nymph. So then the last thing I do is give it an inspection. And look, I can see I got a little piece of loopy thread here from my knot I failed to tie properly. I'll snip that off. And I think I got one guard hair here that looks like a wing. So I'll take that off. And just generally inspect it to see if it looks even all the way around. Nice fluff everywhere. Nothing lopsided. No flies are perfect the first time you tie them. They all need a little massaging and doctoring. Of course, after you throw them in the water, beat the snot out of them. They all look crazy anyways, but somehow they still catch fish. I got one more little hair here. I think it's funny looking. Snip that off. Okay. All right. There you have it. The blue-eyed devil.